Maybe loneliness isn't an empty space to fill. Maybe it's a quiet room waiting for you to return. Tonight, what if we stop trying to push it away and simply sit beside it? No judgment, no shushing, no fixing. There is a gentle shift that happens when we witness rather than attempt to mend. In the hush of evening, you are invited to lean into the quiet, to allow loneliness to sit with you, to listen for the message hidden in the silence. Some nights your phone glows for a moment and fades to black. The world outside is loud, constant notifications, scrolling feeds, the hum of distant traffic, yet the room you inhabit is still. Maybe you have tried to outrun loneliness with plans, conversations, and endless work. Maybe you filled your calendar, filled your mind, filled your senses, but the more you escaped, the thicker loneliness felt, weaving itself into the spaces between your words, lingering in the quiet after the music stops. You sip warm tea, the steam spirals up, and you realize, no matter how fast you run, loneliness waits. One evening, you stop resisting. You set a small table by the window, light a candle, and place an extra chair. You whisper into the dim, "If you want to stay, you're welcome." Loneliness shifts from a shadowy threat to a doorway. On the other side, a part of you has been waiting, patient, hopeful, longing to be seen. You notice the gentle flicker of light, the way the empty chair holds space for something tender. You sense that this part of you isn't here to hurt, but to heal. Carl Jung called it the shadow, not the bad part, but the left-behind part. Loneliness can be shadow too, the need for slowness, privacy, and honest breath. When loneliness is dismissed or labeled as weakness, it's sent deeper into exile. Shadow doesn't vanish. It returns as emptiness in crowded rooms, as sleeplessness over nothing, as the ache behind a smile. But when you see loneliness clearly, you hear its questions. Where did I lose my voice? When did I leave myself behind? Loneliness is not a punishment, but a messenger, asking you to reclaim the places where you have not been true to yourself. Inside you are many parts. The perfectionist who wants everything to be just right. The abandoned child who fears being left behind. The one who fears rejection. The soother who tries to make it all okay. None of these parts are wrong. Each learned to protect you in the only way they knew. When you say, "I'll fix you," they hear you are wrong and close the door. But when you say, "I see you," they exhale. They soften. The door to your own heart cracks open, letting in a warm glow that says, "You belong here." Loneliness is also body memory. Your nervous system once learned that silence meant danger, that closed doors meant being forgotten. The tone of a voice, a blank screen after you reach out, these can trigger an old wave, a flashback. You are not too sensitive. You are remembering. In these moments, name sensations, not faults, chest tight, throat dry, belly cold. With each naming, the body learns, today is different. An adult is here, me. The past softens around you, and the present becomes a place of possibility. We were taught that busyness equals worth. But individuation isn't demolition. It's the slow bloom of who you already are. In honest solitude, you stop performing and start listening. You are not a product. You are a living, breathing being worthy of presence. In the shade, a flower blooms slowly until it catches the light. In a field of gentle wind and soft grass, you remember there is value in simply being. There is wisdom in pausing to ask, who am I when I am not trying to be anything for anyone else? Let's begin with small rituals to reclaim loneliness as sacred space. Ritual 1. Sacred space. Choose a corner in your home. Place one symbol of safety, a soft blanket, a smooth stone, a small plant. For 10 minutes nightly, turn down the lights, silence your notifications, and play soft ambience. Whisper, This is a place where loneliness is welcome. Pair this ritual with a scent, a calming oil, a favorite tea. Over time, your body will learn this smell means peace. The space becomes a sanctuary, not a prison. Ritual 2. Dialogue with loneliness. Imagine loneliness sitting in the opposite chair. Ask, "What do you want me to know?" Then write down 3 lines as if you are taking minutes in a gentle meeting. End with, "Thank you for protecting me the way you knew how." The messenger becomes an ally, and you notice the energy shifts from tension to acceptance, from fear to quiet gratitude. Ritual 3. 5 to 5, 5, safety. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in for 5 counts, hold for 5, exhale for 5. Repeat for 5 rounds. Name 5 sensations you notice in your body. This maps safety onto your nervous system. Loneliness loses its sharp edge and softens into presence, a sensation rather than a sentence. Ritual 4. A weekly solo date. Take a walk in the park, browse a cozy bookstore, sit in a small gallery. Do not rush to capture or share the moment. Ask softly, "What warms me today?" Notice one tiny thing: a leaf catching sunlight, the scent of old paper, the sound of footsteps on gravel. Teach your nervous system, alone isn't abandoned, alone is cared for. Ritual 5. A simple manifesto on your wall. Write, "When loneliness visits, I will stay with myself." Each time you read it, you pour a drop of loyalty into your relationship with yourself. Over time, outside relationships soften too, because you are no longer seeking proof of worth in others. You know you are worthy simply by being. Loneliness is not a sentence. It's the breathing room of the soul. In the quiet, you hear the oldest truth: I am still here. Place a hand over your heart and say, "I will not leave you." This room is ours. When all you can do is witness, that is enough. The cracked mirror catches sunlight, the lake ripples in the dusk, and you see that beauty lives in the spaces you thought were empty. There will be days when the ache of loneliness returns. There will be nights when you long for company or comfort. Remember, loneliness is not a signal that you have failed. It is a doorway to self-connection, a sacred invitation to slow down and listen. When you hold loneliness tenderly, you transform it from isolation into intimacy. You make it a safe and sacred space. As you move through your healing, remember that you do not have to rush this process. Shadow work is not about erasing your wounds, but about bringing gentle attention to the places that hurt. Loneliness is one of those places. If you can witness it without trying to fix it, you begin to heal the deepest layers of your nervous system. You teach the inner child that you are here, that safety is possible, that worth is not earned through performance or perfection. The more you welcome loneliness, the more you reclaim the parts of yourself that have been left behind. The perfectionist softens. The abandoned child feels seen. The one who fears. Being left learns that presence is enough. Solitude becomes a sacred container, not a punishment. You notice that your breath becomes deeper, your thoughts gentler, your relationship with yourself more honest. In your sacred space, you can play soft music, light a candle, wrap yourself in a comforting blanket, or simply sit in silence. You can journal, draw, meditate, or stare out the window. The rituals are not about doing more, but about being more present. You learn to savor the quiet, to notice the beauty in small things, the way dust motes dance in sunlight, the way warm tea feels in your hands, the way your own heartbeat anchors you to the present. Each time you practice these rituals, you build a new memory in your body. You teach your nervous system that alone is not unsafe. You teach your mind that loneliness is not a flaw to fix. You teach your heart that you are worthy of your own care. Over time, these moments accumulate, and you notice that your relationship with loneliness has changed. It is no longer a threat, but a companion. It is no longer emptiness, but spaciousness. If you need a place where loneliness is welcome, Stay. You are invited to sit with yourself tonight, to witness what arises, to honor the space between thoughts and feelings. Leave a gentle symbol, a leaf, a flower, a soft whisper of gratitude for the parts of yourself that have waited so long to be seen. I'll meet you at the next breath, in the quiet, in the sacred space you create. Loneliness is not something to escape or endure. It is a doorway to your deepest self, an invitation to radical acceptance, a space where healing begins. May you find comfort in the silence. May you discover your own worth in the quiet. May your loneliness become a safe and sacred space, soft, gentle, and full of possibility. If you ever feel overwhelmed, remember that these reflections are for education and self-exploration, not a substitute for therapy. If loneliness becomes too heavy to hold alone, reach out to a supportive professional or community. Healing is not a solo journey. You are allowed to ask for help. With every gentle ritual, every compassionate breath, every moment of witnessing, you turn loneliness into light. You reclaim your voice, your presence, your worth. You honor the shadow as sacred. You become your own safe space. You are not alone. You are with yourself, and that is where healing begins. If you find comfort here, if you sat with yourself tonight, leave a gentle symbol, a leaf, a breath, a quiet affirmation. This is Shadow Bloom Healing. You are welcome always in the sacred space of your own company.